Hey everybody, and welcome to the Intentional Harmony podcast. This podcast is for musicians looking to jumpstart their career, inspire others, and get motivated to make the life of your dream. I don't care if you've been playing music for 5 years or 20 years. If you want a career in music, then what the heck are you waiting for? And let me clarify when I say career. This podcast is not just for musicians that want to make it big. This is for the musician who wants to play part-time, the brand new artist who just needs a little push in the right direction, the artist who does want to make it their full-time gig, and even the artist who's still figuring it out, because really, aren't we all? Whatever your dream and vision may be, this podcast will be here for you. I'm your host, Katie Warren, and I am so excited that you decided to listen today. My goal with each episode is that you explore deeper thoughts, build confidence to make your dream a reality, and give you practical tools and ideas that you can apply to real-life situations. I'll start each episode with a bit of news from the industry because we all know it changes ridiculously fast. Hello! Thanks for tuning in again. This is episode 4 of Intentional Harmony, and hopefully I don't sound as quiet and sick today. I am recording off of my phone on the couch because I am exactly 1 week post-op for my hip surgery, so I apologize if the sound quality isn't as great, but I hopefully will be back and able to sit in my office next week. So before we tackle today's topic of Inspiration Station, I wanted to just touch on some news that happened in the music industry a few days ago. Juice WRLD, if you guys don't know who he is, he was a rapper who passed away the other day at age 21. Super, super young, really unexpected, and a huge loss for the music industry. Even if you're not a rap fan, or you are, this kid, really got discovered from SoundCloud and started at the bottom, didn't have any special, thing happen to him to get to him where he is today. He collaborated, he worked his butt off, and he's really the definition of a do it from scratch, do it yourself artist, and it paid off for him, and I'm so sad to see that he's not with us anymore. Spotify actually recognized him as one of the top 5 male artists streamed in the US this year, which is huge because it was one song in 2017 called Nothing's Different, and then this past year Lucid Dreams came out, and really that's what blew up his career, and he collaborated with so many big name artists. But there is one excerpt that this article I read on him covered that I just want to read because it kind of ties into our topic today as well. So Juice WRLD had said, "I feel like people are not afraid to touch on all of their emotions. Back in the day, especially when everyone was trying to act hard all the time, I feel like people just weren't touching on that side of their life. I don't know if they were scared, if it was in fear, but I feel as though some people now are more mature and grown than the people back then because they talk about everything that they went through. Everything, not just the violence." It's just interesting. We pull a lot of different areas in our life into our music, and we get inspired from a lot of different things. So I'm going to transition over to our topic for today, which is keeping yourself inspired as a musician, right? We work off of creativity. We need that inspiration. So there are some things that you can do to help feed that inspiration within you. And if you're noticing you're just losing it a lot quicker than normal, how to kind of grab that back into your life. And we're all human, right? We lose motivation, we lose inspiration. It happens. But we want to get on top of it before it really hinders our career. So the first way to kind of keep that inspiration flowing and alive is to keep exploring what's out there. I want you to go back to old classics you love, look at new genres of music, look at what other people are doing, not to copy them, but to see what else is out there, to get ideas, to brainstorm. And you're going to want to explore new possibilities. So there are so many new technological advances, whether it's a phone app to a, recording software to an editing program. Things are coming out all the time. So make sure you're researching the new technologies and new things that are coming out, because that can really add another new element to your career. Another important thing is you have to set a schedule. So I'm going to take you back to my corporate days. And I was sitting in my office feeling really overwhelmed. I had a ton of sales reps coming to me for things, and I needed to handle 50 million things at once, and I was just stressed out. And I kept taking things in, and I kept saying yes, and the work just piled up on me. And before I knew it, I was drowning in my own ambitions and drowning in my own ego because I was too scared to ask for help because I thought I could handle it all. And guess what? You can't. You can't do everything. So managing your time, making lists will keep you inspired because then you're not getting frustrated and let down when you can't complete a task. So the more organized you can get yourself, the better off your creativity, your inspiration is going to be because you don't have that weight dragging you down. So make a list of what you want to accomplish today, what you want to accomplish in the week, and then in the month, and keep that going so that you stay organized and in line, and that way you're not going to get overwhelmed because it happens, right? We want to do everything, and there's a point where you just shouldn't do everything. You don't need to. You can't expect yourself to have skills in every single area of your career, and that's where you want to lean on other people for. So something else you can do is create a vision board. And I brought this up in one of my last episodes, and I know some people probably feel it's a little hokey, and it is a little bit, but here's why I think it's really important. Whether it's a vision board or just like a list of motivational things that you want to remember, the point is that it's up in front of you wherever you're working. If you have a recording studio in your house, in your bedroom, if that's where you record your music, wherever, maybe it's in your work office. I don't know what your situation is, but you want to put this vision board or this list or this picture up in front of you so you can see it and remember why you started, remember what you're driving to, because for your inspiration and creativity to keep flowing, you have to have those drives. You have to remember those things. So for a vision board, you're going to want to get some quotes to put on there, some pictures, but really it's just supposed to summarize everything you want this upcoming year to be, right? You can put 2020 nice and big in the middle, maybe, add some inspirational quotes to keep you going, add that picture of that dream vacation you want to take, or maybe that huge venue that you want to get into and perform in, maybe the band that is like your dream collaboration. Whatever it is, there's a lot of elements you can add here. So once you've decided what you want to focus on for the year, all you're doing is choosing images that represent those things. You can make large images, smaller images, add words, phrases, any embellishments, put some pictures in there, glue all of it on there. Whatever feels good to you. It is your vision board, but hang it where you see it every day, and that is the most important thing. I want you to look at this, and I want you to look at it all the time. It doesn't just have to be career visions. You can put, wealth goals on there, health goals, maybe love, family, career, definitely. And once you're done, send me a picture of your vision board. I want to see it. I love, love, love the inspiration and creativity flowing. And let's be honest, if you're a musician, you are a creative person. So no matter how hokey you think this might be, I want you to just try it. Do it, share it, let me know how it goes, and tag Intent Artist Management or use my hashtag Intent Artist Management in the vision board picture you post. The next way I want you to keep that inspiration and motivation alive is meeting up with other musicians. Now, all of our social lives are completely different, but the more we can connect with people that get excited about the same things, have that same fire burning within them, the more you can relate and the more you just want to do your thing because you can all talk about it, you all get where you're coming from. So I would recommend using an app like Meetup or something. Be safe about it. Maybe bring a buddy. But go to a coffee shop. Meet up with these musician groups because you cannot have enough musician friends. Networking is so huge in this industry. So it's kind of like a twofer, right? You're keeping your inspiration alive. You're talking to people who have the same passions that you do, but you're also networking because you never know when that connection will come into use. Point is, you're making that connection that you can have for a lifetime, and that is so valuable, just as valuable as staying inspired and motivated. So connect with people that are like-minded and enjoy the same passion that you do. Heck, have a jam session. Just get together with a bunch of musicians, even if you don't know them. That's okay. Just play music, just improv or whatever you need to do with your instrument. Just make some noise with people who enjoy the same things. Another thing about keeping that inspiration going is recognizing that you are human and you can burn out. So there is a point in everyone's career, maybe multiple points, where you feel like you're taking on too much and you can't do it anymore, and it's just you're way too busy and there's not enough time to book gigs, play a tour, have a family, make dinner, whatever it may be. Maybe you're still going to school. Life gets to be too much at times. So I want you to recognize that and understand that is your mind and body's way of saying, take a break. And you don't need to step back and cancel all the gigs you have booked right now, but maybe look at the time you have every day and see where certain things can be cut out. Maybe instead of watching that TV show every night, you take a half hour out of that to just work on some self-development or go to bed early. Maybe you are spending way too much time waiting in that coffee line every morning for your morning boost. So try to make coffee at home and see how much time that saves you. There's a lot of things that we don't realize throughout the day that are just big time suckers. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling burnt out and there's just not enough time for everything you want to do, really focus in and make sure every single bit of your time is spent intentionally and purposefully. One of the last things I want to talk about to keep that inspiration flowing is booking energizing gigs. So what does that mean? That means book that gig at a club you have been going to that you love. It's got great energy. The audience is responsive. And the last idea I have for you to keep that inspiration going is to just be honest with people. You have a social media following, and if you don't, you're building it. And people connect well with others when they're true about their feelings. So if you're feeling burnt out and you're feeling like you are not inspired and you're having writer's block or whatever it may be, reach out to your community that you've built. They're there for a reason, and they can be of use. Some of them may be musicians, some of them may be family, some of them may be friends, some of them may be across the world, but they all have one thing in common. They chose to follow you. So put a post out there that's a little vulnerable and let them know how you're feeling and see the feedback you get from it. We all go through this stuff. So again, the more you can relate with people, it's going to help your engagement, and it's also going to show how real you are to these people who have been following your music, going to concerts, really supporting your brand. I hope that was helpful. We all get inspired in different ways. So the bottom line is do something that makes you feel good, and don't be afraid to take a break for a little while. That doesn't mean you have to stop playing music for an entire month. That doesn't mean you have to stop playing music at all. Just, again, cut back on some things that don't necessarily make sense in your life at the moment right now. It's okay. But seriously, going back to those vision boards, please tag me. I want to know what yours look like, if you had fun doing it, if you absolutely hated doing it. I want to know all of that stuff. I will post on my blog a picture of my vision board that I am making tomorrow. I've already made one, but I want to make another one for this new year. So I will post the new one and then maybe some templates for you guys to work with, because I just like to throw in the freebie once in a while. So, all right, that sums it up for this podcast. Again, if you haven't followed me on Instagram or Facebook, please do so. I would love to hear from you at Intent Artist Management. If you want to check out my website, it is intentartistmanagement.com. And all of the information you need is on there, including my blog. I tend to take the topic of the podcast and translate that into my blog with some relatable actions and templates that you can use and apply to your career. So as always, I love feedback. Please keep communicating and letting me know what topics you want covered. If you liked the topic of this week, or, if you wish I would have touched on some other things, those are all the things I want to know, because again, this is for you guys. This is not for me, even though it's a blast doing it. I want to make sure I'm serving you in... That was so gross. I'm sorry if you just heard that. That was my dog hacking. And I couldn't cut it out of the podcast because it was just ridiculous. So I can't even remember what I was saying now because my dog's a monster. But just give me your feedback. I want to hear what your thoughts are and where I can help you out from here. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.